Hello and welcome to this week's episode, but before we jump into it, we just wanted to share with you a little offer we received the other day. Liz?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but we were approached by a watch company from Austria. They're a very young, dynamic team. They've just started, and they said, would we like a watch and would we blog about it? And initially we thought, don't know, I've got a watch. You all know that I wear this watch all the time. So I got back to them, had a chat back and forth, and it turns out they're a really interesting little company. So yeah, we agreed, we get a watch, but also we'll tell you about it, but also you get a discount if you want one. So they are Austrian, they are very young, they are very eco-friendly, and they make watches out of wood and stone.
Yeah, I mean, that was the attractive thing about this. Now, it couldn't have come a better time for me because my beautiful Seiko that you bought me years ago with the titanium strap has broken and I can't get it fixed in Asia. Well, if I can, I don't know where to get it fixed. So I've been watchless for months. So I quite like the fact this was good timing. But what I really like about them is the fact that they're made from natural products. Yeah. And I had a look through their library and I have to say, you know, I wasn't too sure. And then I plumped for the vegan...
It's vegan and grey basalt.
Basalt, that's right.
Yours, yes. It's a vegan strap. And not because you're vegan. You just
no,
like
I just like the plainness of it. Yeah. But what I particularly like about the one that I chose was that it's more like a dress watch.
Yeah.
And I've never owned a dress watch. Yeah. Now, they're not waterproof.
No, she did say, Elizabeth did say that you can get a little bit of water on them, but obviously don't go diving in them or anything like that. So we can take them ashore, and we don't live permanently on the boat. We're not always sailing. So there are times when occasionally we like to dress up a bit, look a bit smarter. And my enormous great thing isn't the prettiest of watches. So I'm really happy with mine. And mine is, oh no, how do you say it? It's Amazonite and oak. And it's very feminine. And if you haven't seen Amazonite before, it's green. Everybody knows I love green and blue. So yeah, very happy with my watch.
Great. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate you sending them over. If you like the look of these watches, there's a huge selection and we have a discount code below in the description. So go check them out and support these guys who are donating, I think, €1 to certain causes.
Yes, on their website they write, we donate €1 for every watch sold in reforestation projects in Nicaragua or toward the employment of people with reduced physical, sensory or mental capabilities. So that's really nice, yeah.
That's the other reason for checking them out. Right, on to this week's episode. Well, after a tedious couple of hours slog through shallow waters, having left Penang, we are now heading back north, and you should recognise this island. It's Bidan, which is the one we anchored in on the way down. But just to give yourselves a break and ourselves a break, we're actually going to go to a different one. It's behind here, it's called Song Song, and a couple of yachtists have recommended it, so we thought we'd go and check it out.
This is Pulau Song Song. It's a 4-hour motor from Penang, and we're just checking out the area here to see if it's going to be flat enough for us to anchor comfortably tonight. Very pretty, you've never been here before. There's a little camp on land there just behind the beach. One tourist boat and nobody else. It's just perfect rainforest there.
Well, after a boring motor in cloudy skies, we've actually arrived at this island, which is rather beautiful. Song Song it's called. I haven't been to this one before, and I just thought I would dump the kayak in the water and go for a little paddle, which is very difficult to do when you're holding a camera in one hand and the oar in the other. Just thought I'd go over ashore and have a look and see what's going on. There's a little reef here. I checked on the satellite, we're a good 67 metres away from this reef, but it does look like it drops away very quickly, so I'm interested to see how close we are to that. As you can see, no wind, which is great whilst we're at anchor. There are some really strong north westerlies predicted, which sounds great. The only problem is that's roughly the direction we need to be pointing in to get back to Langkawi. So we need to work out whether we spend another day here tomorrow, and then if it picks up we may even have to go back down to Bidan. But anyway, that's by the by. Let's just have a little cruise over to the island. Water's actually quite clear. There's a bit of crap in the water, which is normal. It's not turquoise blue, but the visibility is very good. So this is Pulau Songsom, we're now on land. And my understanding is that behind me, or rather in front of me, is it's a little campsite, so people can come here to camp. We've seen a couple of day tripper boats. They've come ashore and just had a paddle in the water. You saw a house at the end of the island, a proper house, and just here it looks like they've got dive equipment, so don't know what's going on. Maybe they do activities. There's a little hammock there, there's swings on the beach. Flowers growing in the sand dunes, very, very pretty. Well, there's a sign there, but unfortunately it's all in Malay, giving some information on the island. One thing I have noticed is you've got this hut, a lean-to there, and I wonder if this has been put there for the fishermen. If you remember a couple of years ago, when we went to Bidan, which is the island there on the horizon, there was a little eco camp ashore, but they'd also built fishing huts for the fishermen, so it just gives them somewhere to come ashore and stay. And as you can see over my shoulder as I turn around now, you've got a couple of fishermen there, tied their boat up to the shore, giving it a good clean. And I have to say, I can think of far worse places to tie your boat up and clean the hull. Okay, I think I've just figured it out. The dive equipment up there, I think belongs to this boat over here, and right next to that boat is a floating, swimming, sectioned off area, and the signs ashore showing pictures of coral. So I wonder if perhaps there is a coral reef over there. I can see a scuba diver in the water right now. Yeah, I might go and take the kayak over there and have a quick look and see if there's anything of interest. So it seems as if there is actually quite a bit of coral here. There's a long reef that runs all the way along here, right by where that floating swimming area was, and the boat with the dive equipment. Difficult to tell what kind of condition it's in because it's late in the afternoon, don't have so much light now. I can see some healthy coral. There seems to be some staghorn coral, and I can see the little white tips on them. Lots of brain coral and even a table coral as well, I think. But normally, under normal circumstances, I'd say, right, let's come back here tomorrow when the light is better. There's just one problem which I haven't mentioned before, and that's my injury, which I got a few days ago, and it is this. Look. That is the result of a rove beetle, and a rove beetle is an ant-like creature, sometimes all black, sometimes red and black, with wings. They're not poisonous, they're not venomous, they don't bite, but their blood is poisonous. So what tends to happen is you feel them crawling over you, and then you swat them, and when you swat them they release their blood and it burns like acid. And I had this horrendous acid burn down the top of my forearm, and it came up in really nasty welts. It's not very nice at all. Didn't know anything about it until I did some research and found out that quite a lot of people in Asia have received this same injury. It lasts for something like 10 to 14 days. It burns for a couple of days as well. Anyway, the upshot of that is I'm not going to go in the water because I don't want to get it infected, which is a shame because it looks like there is some nice coral. So if we're still here tomorrow and we're not doing much, maybe I'll send Liz down with the camera and see what she can find. Interesting, down in the seabed there, and it looked to me, I need to go back and have a look at the footage, but it looked to me like they're actually reintroducing coral, and one of the signs over there was put up, although it's in Malaysian, it says in English at the bottom, university study, so I wonder if perhaps these are scientists, marine biologists even, who are trying to reintroduce coral into this reef here. That's my guess. As I say, if we get a chance, we'll come and have another look tomorrow when the light's better.
Morning. Well, I'm gutted. We've got to leave this beautiful island. We wanted to do a little bit of snorkeling and have a chat with what we think are some scientists doing some work on setting up some new coral. Unfortunately for us, the wind is coming from that way, which is the wind we need to get us up that way, and tomorrow it turns round and comes against us and stays like that for a few days, which means today is our only opportunity to move on about 40 odd miles north to Langkawi. So we won't be able to spend any time on this island, and it looks so nice. But anyway, Pulau Song Song, what we saw of you was great, and good luck with the coral seeding. It looks brilliant.
Well, there we go, that didn't take long, did it? 16 knots of wind I think we've got. Hold on. Yeah, between 12 and 16 true. Again, seem to be getting into this habit of not putting the mainsail out, just because ESPER sails quite nicely without it. And of course, if the shit hits the fan, we've got one less sail to take away. And that's the beauty of the mizzen. Pretty overcast out there. There's about sort of, I don't know, 1.5 meters, 2 meters swell across the beam, which makes for a little bit rolly ride, but hey, we're sailing. Look at this, the sun is out and we have blue skies. So we got one reef in that head sail, no main, and we're doing about 5.5, between 5 and 5.5 knots. It's not bad, a few breaking waves, not much more than that.
So it's been quite an eco-friendly episode, this one, hasn't it? What with the watches and the coral.
Yeah, the coral, that was really encouraging to see. I'd never seen that before, I'd read about it, but to actually see those A-frames underwater with the coral planted in it. And I'm glad I finally managed to work out what the island was all about, because I was walking around so confused with all the scuba diving gear and the signs from the universities. Yeah, just really encouraging to see.
Yeah, it was great, and it was such a shame we didn't get a chance to actually meet and talk with them the next day, because we could see boats coming in with clearly students, weren't they? And they were down, they were working down there. It would have been fascinating. Anyway, win some, lose some. But the interesting thing we were just talking about earlier to each other is that it's very different to Thailand, because in Thailand, those little group of islands you can be sure would have been covered in resorts and there have been jet skis everywhere.
Yep.
Whereas what we've discovered in Malaysia is that they seem to decide that this island will be a resort island and concentrate all their efforts on, say, somewhere like Langkawi or Tiamen. And then most of the rest of the islands are left fairly well alone, and you don't get this massive spread of hotels and bungalows.
Yeah, and in fact we've seen a couple of people have sort of decamped onto these islands like Zen on
Yes.
Singabessa,
Yeah.
and then of course the eco the eco camp that we saw on
Yep.
Bidan, which is just down the coast from Song Song. And just really encouraging to see that the Malaysian government is allowing these islands to just stay as they are, really, and
Yeah.
anyone that wants to help out with the eco side of things is encouraged to do so.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right next to each other and yet totally different approaches to it.
Okay, right, well, thank you very much for watching. I will just pick up on a couple of comments we received on our last episode, and that was the state of our spreaders.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're very bad. Someone has got to clean them.
Someone's got to hoist someone up the mast to clean them. We will do it, we are aware of it, and it will be done. We promise, we promise.
Peace and fair winds.